Hey, YTPC. It's been a minute since I made a video. I think I did one right before Chicago, I think. Um, but I meant to make one of my recap for Chicago earlier this week, and I did one, and then I missed out some things, and it was super long, so I just decided to redo it when I had some time, and hopefully not forget anything or anybody. Um, so yeah, Chicago was awesome. It was the best Chicago pipe show I've been to. Even from the Pheasant Run days. I mean, Pheasant Run was fun. It was a different kind of time. But the Chicago Pipe Club just really did a lot of good things for the show, like as far as registering online and all that stuff, and being able to pay for registration online. I think that was a huge thing that they did this year. And then just all the different seminars you could attend. The smoking tent was, I think, bigger than at least the Marriott. I don't think it was. I think the smoking tent at Pheasant Run was still bigger. I remember they had like actual furniture in that one, like couch, like a couple nice couches and chairs. And then also all the tables and stuff. So it was. So I'm not sure if we'll ever see those again. I think that was. I think those tables or those nice, comfy chairs were actually belonged to Pheasant Run. I think, I don't know. But yeah, it was just super well done as far as organization, and I mean they had the schedule. You could it was on the lanyard. So they gave everyone got their lanyard with their names, so you could everyone's wearing these, and so you could see people's names. If you were a vendor, they had your logo on there, which was really cool. That was a nice touch. But you open up this, and there's the schedule of all the events, and then the QR code is you bring up the schedule on your phone, and yeah, it was just really well organized this year, and I mean, it was just a great time. It was a lot of fun. Got to talk to some friends that I met last year. The last day I ran into somebody that I had met last year on Friday, and I was wondering if they were going to be there, and I didn't see them all weekend. And then I saw them in the smoking tent at the end of the, in the morning. I think it was in the mid-morning, I think, of Sunday. And so that was cool. I got to see him and talk with him a little bit, because I would have completely probably missed him. And he said I think he was there I think he got there Thursday or Friday, which I was there from Thursday to Sunday. So it was just kind of crazy how we hadn't seen each other yet, but now I think we're connected on social media. So it's always nice to have that. But I kind of miss the days where there wasn't social media, and then that's the only time you talk to people was at pipe shows. And so you see these same people a few times a year at all the different pipe shows and stuff. But yeah, there's some people that I have on social media. We see each other's pictures and stuff, or on Instagram and stuff like that, but we don't really talk a whole lot. But so it's nice to kind of, at the pipe shows, we actually sit down and enjoy a smoke together, catch up a little bit. That's always my favorite part of pipe shows. So my trip started off kind of rough. I had everything packed up, ready to go. I ended up leaving. I put my son on the bus, and then came back home and got some coffee and hung out with my youngest and my wife for a little bit before I left, and then and I left. I didn't put the address into the GPS until I got closer to Chicago, and I stopped at a gas station to piss and get something to drink or snack or something, and that's when I put the address in, and so I just type in Hyatt Regency. First it said Indianapolis, and then it said Chicago. So I said, okay, Chicago. Went to the Hyatt Regency that was in downtown Chicago. The pipe show was at the O'Hare Airport, which I shouldn't know. I mean, I didn't know if it was gonna be that specific. I thought it'd just say Chicago Hyatt or whatever. So I go all the way downtown, and I'm like looking. I mean, I had no idea, and I don't know. I probably should have researched it better before leaving, but I didn't think it would have been that big of an issue. So I get to downtown, and it's like crazy busy traffic, and I'm like, there's no way that there's a pipe show here. Like I couldn't believe it. I'm like, where the heck is the tent gonna be? And I'm thinking like I'm already like next year I'm flying. I'm not driving. I'm gonna fly from Fort Wayne to Chicago or take a train or something. I was like, oh, there's no way I'm driving again. And I finally find out where to park. There's like a parking garage for the Hyatt. There's valet parking, so they come out, help me unload all my stuff. Anyways, it's a full house today. Everyone's just going nuts. I'm trying to, I'm like, you guys like not yell so loud. But so like I was saying, they unloaded all my stuff out of the car onto the bellhop brought down a cart. They parked my car. I go inside, up the elevator, and the bellhop was like, what brings you to town? And I was like, oh, I'm here for the pipe show. And he's like, oh, okay, I must have missed that one. Like, he had no idea what I was talking about. And it should have raised a flag there, I guess. But I go check in, and I gave her my ID, and she's looking, and she's like, had like this weird look on her face, like there's something wrong. And then she goes, oh, you're at the wrong hotel. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm thinking, is it not the Hyatt? Like, is it like the whatever that's next door? I don't know. And she's like, you're at a Hyatt O'Hare. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense now. So I tell the bellhop, so he brings my bags back down. Tell the valet parking dude or whatever that what happened. He's like, okay, well they're just now parking your car up whatever floor of the garage, and he's like, we'll page them and they'll bring it back down. So they bring it back down. We load up my stuff, and then I drove to Hyatt O'Hare, which is about 45 minutes from where I was, and traffic was crazy. Anyways, I finally get there, and as soon as I walk in, I see people that I know. So it was like the first one, I didn't see anybody I knew when I first walked in, and so I don't know. I should have raised a lot of red flags, but I had no idea, that there was like 4 Hyatts in Chicago. I don't know. But now I know. And it should be a lot smoother getting there. For your future Chicago pipe shows. Thursday night we just hung out with a bunch of people, smoked some tobacco. I got to smoke some Edgeworth Ready Rubbed from 1940 or 1960. I can't remember which one it was. It was Neil Osborne in Pod 101 on Instagram, and he put a good healthy sample into a little bag. So I smoked some there, and I got some for later to try. But it's a really really good burley. I'm not sure if age had anything to do with that, but it was pretty good. And then Friday night we had the UPCA meeting, which was cool to experience that. There was like a very formal meeting. Had representatives from all the different pipe clubs come. and we had talked about UPCA business stuff, and that was pretty cool. And I think the rest of Friday I think we just kind of hung out, smoked. There was some different seminars. I told myself I was gonna go to all these different seminars because it'd be a good chance to like take a break from smoking. Because if you're in the smoking tent, you're just gonna smoke the whole time, and your tongue's gonna get burned out. You're gonna just it's good to take breaks, and it's easier to take breaks if you go somewhere where there's non-smoking. So I was like, I'm gonna go to all these seminars and different things, and there had a lot of good ones that I heard about, and I didn't go to a single one, and I wish I did because I heard a lot of cool things about them. And so next year, that's definitely something I'm gonna try doing more is go to all the seminars that they offer. Minus like I don't know the cigar rolling, which sounded fun. It sounded cool. And like the blending seminar, like sounds fun. It's sounds cool, but it's just I don't know. Maybe I guess when get closer to the show next year, I might change my mind on that stuff. But at least the seminars where there's like a speaker talking about something. I try to hit all those. But as far as the show, everyone, it was when, at the Marriott, they had 2 separate rooms, which is kind of, a lot of people didn't know that there was a second room, and some people only stayed in one room, and so it was nice that the show was just in the big grand ballroom or whatever they had, whatever it's called, but the setup was very nice, the layout was nice, lots of pipes, a lot of even tobacco, a lot of people selling off their cellars or selling their aged tins and stuff. A lot of artisans, a lot of estate pipes. It was a great show. Trying to think if I met. I got to see Gary old and in the way. I saw him last year, but I didn't get to hang out with him. This year I got to hang out with him. We had met up in the smoking tent after because he volunteers for the show, and like 2-hour shifts. So he was there at like super early in the morning when I'm still in bed. By the time I'm up and doing stuff, he was out in the smoking tent. So we got to hang out there and enjoy a pipe together. So that was cool. I'm kind of wishing got to do that more with him. But we got to hang out for about an hour or so, maybe. And then there was a YTPC meetup in one of the rooms. It was really cool because they had all these like different conference rooms that were in this like little lobby area where they had the bar, and then just outside the doors was where the smoking tent was. So everything was like right there, super easy to find, finding where to go. But they had did a YTPC meet and greet. Paul and Chris from Pipes of Old, Flat Cat Piper and Lady Fire. I'm gonna miss names. Greg Tunnel, which he gifted me one of his honest lighters. So thank you, Greg. I just filled it up. I'm going to use it here in a minute. I was in the middle of packing a pipe. Thank you, Greg. This is a super cool way. It has everything. You got all your pipe tools, and so pretty cool. Thank you, Greg. And then I did the YTPC meetup thing, and Smoking Hardboard, Steve. That was awesome meeting him. We had a super fun time. So interesting story. I don't want to make this video go super long again, but I'll try to cut out all the things that's not important. So Friday morning, I went down and I saw my buddy Russ. from the Indiana Pipe Club, which, thank you, Russ. He gifted me this. It's like, I think this is not a Canadian, not a, oh gosh, what is, Lumberman. I think it's a Lumberman. But he refurbished it, cleaned it up. He rusticated the bowl, which is super cool. Like, this rustication looks very good. Like it's a part. Like, it's always been there. Like, it was a part of the pipe when it was first made. Like, that's how good it looks. So I'm really very excited about this. I don't know what it is. I'm guessing it was like either a Graybo or a Medico or a K-Woody. One of those three. Is what I'm guessing, but I don't know because he had, I think he polished any kind of markings off. But great little knock-around pipe that is going to go with me probably everywhere I go when it comes to like camping or fishing or hiking. It's just a great little smoker, a good sized bowl. So thank you, Russ. But so Friday morning, I hang out with Russ, and then Russ was going to go do the blending seminar. I think that's when it was, Friday morning. Yeah, the blending seminar. They had it in the smoking tent, so you could hear what they were talking about and stuff, which is cool. But I see a guy at a table, and he looks super familiar, and I knew exactly who he looked like. There's a band that I listened to. I've seen them a few times in concert. At a couple of different dive bars maybe in town, or they're called Listener, which I'm actually drinking some coffee this morning out of my Listener Christmas mug. And they had even played a show at my old house next door. There was an old train depot that they turned into a venue, and Listener came and played there, and which I thought was wild when they first announced it. It said, it popped up on like I got announcements on Spotify or bands in town or whatever it was, and it said Listener playing in Pearson at the train depot, and I always thought it was a misprint. I was like, I was just like confused. So I went to their website, I researched it all. I'm like, wow, that they are coming to Pearson, my little hometown, playing right next to my house. So it was just, I literally went to the show. I walked across my yard, walked over the train tracks, and I was there. That's how close. It's just wild. I used to do a music podcast, so I did a little interview with Dan Smith, the lead singer and bass player and lyricist and everything, and so that's who I thought it was in the tent. And I was like, I started like Instagram stalking him, making sure this is him before I went over and talked to him. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it is, because I was like looking at, he had a long sleeve on, but I could see he had tattoos on his, on his arm, close to his hand. And I was looking at pictures on Instagram, and they had the same kind of glasses but different color. But then I found some other glasses that was like the same color. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure that's him. So I went up to him and I was like, "Are you Dan Smith?" And he said, "I am." And then he said, "I look familiar." And I was like, I just explained to him, like, "Well, I did an interview with you for a podcast when you played in Indiana." And he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And he completely he remembered. And so it was just wild, like, I don't know, super surreal, like fever dream kind of thing. Like, I don't know, just I remember waking up the next day and I was like, did I really get to hang out with the Dan Smith from Listener? It was just wild. But we got to hang out and smoke pipes together. He had a buddy fly in that used to play guitar for a Listener, who flew in from Colorado, and they're hanging out all weekend at the pipe show. And so I got to hang out with them. But me and Steve and Dan and his friends Eric, we walked down to a brewery. It was about a 15-minute walk from the hotel, and had some beers and some appetizers and stuff like that. And that was a really fun time. It was fun doing that. And I got to hang out I talked to Steve a little bit Friday night. I gave him a gift, so we'll see if he does a video on it. I got him a gift at the last Chicago Pipe show. But go check out Steve smoking cardboard, and he might share it. I don't know. So yeah, it was just a super fun Saturday night, and yeah, the Sunday got to hang out with Dan and Eric a little bit more, and I think Eric said something about he wants to start doing YouTube videos, so we'll see if he pops up. I'll have to try to reach out to him somehow and see if he's gonna still do that, which would be kind of fun. But super fun, guys. It was. I mean, I was laughing so hard on some of the conversations and stuff. It was a good time. And then yeah, Sunday about same thing. They just had the just hanging out and stuff. I did a little walkthrough around the show a little bit more. On my camera, I've been recording so long, my camera's like auto focusing. But yeah, we hung out a lot on Sunday. Just did a little walkthrough. Real quick, acquisitions. I didn't do a whole lot. I didn't get a whole lot. This is definitely more of a show. With Muletown and Chicago being so close to this year, I had to kind of pick what show I wanted to spend some money at, and it ended up being Muletown. And then Chicago, you had the hotel room and parking, pay for parking, which is kind of a bummer, but it's still about the same price as the Marriott with the parking, so you're not paying much more. You're paying a little bit less if you're flying in or something, but driving you gotta pay for parking. So it's kind of sucks, but it's whatever. But just real quick, so there was some room hopping, which I'm sure if you've listened to any of the podcasts or some other videos, room hopping didn't really go as planned. It could definitely be better in the future, maybe. But I think it's hard to do room hopping at a pipe show if you can't smoke when you're room hopping. And I think that's the biggest thing. That's why it's so successful in Las Vegas. Because you can smoke on that 14th floor or whatever the floor is. And that's why it was successful in Chicago in the past at Pheasant Run, because you could smoke in the hotel while room hopping. But when there's no smoking allowed at a pipe show, it's people don't want to participate in it because they want to hang out in the tent, smoke their pipes, and stuff like that. So I guess we'll see what happens with that in the future. But I did pick up a couple tampers from Silver Gray. She had some pipes and stuff set up in a room, and so she was selling some tampers that she made. So I was like, oh, I'll grab a couple of these. Can't afford one of her pipes, so I can afford a tamper. But I'm gonna keep this one, and I'm going to use this one as a Tamper Exchange thing for a pipe club meeting, future pipe club meeting. We're going to do some kind of exchange of tampers or something. So a little future thing if you're watching from the Indiana Pipe Club. Got another tamper from the silent auction. They always do the silent auction to raise money for the pipe club, which is a great idea. Had some really cool donations. They had a few of these tampers donated, so grab one of those. I always, it's always fun to have different tampers to use. I use my check tool mostly during the week with driving. But when I'm at home, I always try to use a different tamper, and it's fun to use different stuff like that. And I picked up a tin of Flanel Coffee from the Get Piped Reserve. They did a collaboration with Sutliff. So if you don't follow the Get Piped podcast, you probably have no idea what this is. But Adam, he created this coffee drink called Flanel Coffee. It's basically coffee, maple syrup, and Irish whiskey. And I haven't tried it yet. It sounds like it's pretty good. I think when I smoke this or crack this open, I'm going to do it I want to make Flanel Coffee and do it that way. So I think it'd be pretty fun. And then Mark Irwin. He wrote the Peterson Pipe book. He wrote a book called Pipes of Men. It's like a comic book. I got that from Adam. Get Pipe. It was like a Secret Santa thing that he sent me, and so that was pretty cool. If I knew he was going to be there, I would have brought that and had him sign it. Another book that I just found out that he wrote was called Pipe Smoking in Middle Earth, and this just talks about every part of in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I think The Hobbit, where it talks about pipes or tobacco, and it mentions it here, and maybe expands on it a little bit. But I didn't get this at the pipe show. I got it. I picked it up. I did a order before the Chicago show for the Mac Bear in London and Burley, and this was in my cart, and I was like, I'll add it, but next year if he's gonna be there, I'll bring this and the other one for him to sign. But his new book that just came out is called The X Pipe. And I had him sign it for me there. So he did a little doodle of a pipe, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I love reading, and pipe literature is like really fun to collect and read. So I'm excited to have those. Gosh, I got a bunch of different stickers. The Milwaukee Pipe Club guys are there. They had some stickers. They had these cool lapel pins too. So I like having different pins. That's kind of fun. Self has their little pipe and pipe tool, pipe force things. But yeah, anyways, that's really about it. I think smoked a lot of cool. I'll probably put in some pictures that I took at the end of this. Pictures with friends and tobaccos that I got to try. So my last couple pipes I had on Sunday, I smoked some different things. I smoked an HU blend. Couldn't tell you what it was called. Even if you mentioned every HU blend, I wouldn't be able to. I have no idea I can't remember. And then I had some kind of McClelland Oriental something. That was pretty good. And those are the two on Sunday that I didn't take pictures of. I got to smoke Kingfisher, which I think I had before. I can't remember if I had Kingfisher or if it was it'll come to me in a second. Kingfisher, and there's another one, another fish thing. Shoot, Nate King is punching the air right now. But Kingfisher was from Nate King. He had opened up a 10 from 2006. Anyways, smoked that. I got to smoke from some 2008 Escudo from Jay Furman, which he was my roommate for the weekend, so that was fun. Had a good time talking with him and hanging out with him. And he was giving me all kinds of shit for different stuff. But it was... I brought a bunch of sandwich stuff to make sandwiches and some other snacks. And he's just like... he's very into the whole fitness thing. And I'm into fitness sandwich in my mouth kind of thing. But yeah, it was fun hanging out with Jay most of the weekend and... or a good portion of the weekend. But yeah, he's a fun guy. Yeah, really, that's about it. You gotta go to pipe shows. You gotta experience it for yourself. There was an adult entertainment thing going on in the same area as the Chicago Pipe Show that weekend, and so a lot of those people were staying at the same hotel. I mean, it's whatever to me. I don't care. I guess. I mean, I guess my views on a lot of are different from a lot of people in this community. I'm at the mindset is, do whatever, do you, different strokes for different folks kind of thing. So, but I know some people were kind of bummed about it, I guess, or didn't, agree with that lifestyle or whatever, but it had nothing to do with the pipe show. Just want to put that out there. I know the pipe show is going to be back to where it was, before COVID, which was the first weekend of May, which will be nice. Having it there again, gives you a break in between the Milltown Pipe Show and the Chicago Pipe Show. And it should be a little bit warmer. It wasn't too bad. It was actually really nice this past weekend. It wasn't too cold. It got kind of pretty warm on like Friday afternoon was pretty warm. Saturday was pretty perfect as far as temperature, but I think it'd be cool to have it that weekend again. Gives everyone more time to plan between the other shows, and for pipe makers too, because I know that guys that go to Milltown and sell out at Milltown, and then they got to make a bunch of pipes in like a month to be ready for Chicago, and not everyone's a full-time pipe maker. A lot of people are mostly part-time. So that's it's a good move to do and I think they're locked in for the next couple of years at this hotel at least. So I think hopefully we found the new home for the Chicago Pipe Show. So I'm excited for future years. It's definitely fun time. I saw Smarty Bob for a brief second. I know he didn't have the best experience. I'm hoping to see him at another pipe show in the future, maybe a smaller one. Or even, next year, if he ends up coming to Chicago, Bob, you're listening. But next year, Chicago, we'll exchange numbers. You call me when you get there. I'll meet you. I'm going to, help you out, show you around and stuff, and we'll have a good time. And we'll make sure you get a hotel room, because you don't want to drive back. You want to stay for at least one night. It's fun time. Anyways, this probably isn't much shorter than the first video that I did, but I definitely think I covered everything. So anyways, thanks again for watching. Thanks Russ and Greg and Nate King. All my friends I got to hang out with, Justin and Nate from Pipe Sports and Pals. I see them all the time though, so it's whatever. No, I love seeing them at pipe shows just as much as I love seeing them at pipe club meetings. It's always a fun time. Yeah, Gary. Thanks for the conversations. Steve, thanks for hanging out. So, all right. Catch you guys in the next one.